Lu Chen swiftly dodged the attack, muttering about the danger and a sense of déjà vu. He shouted a challenge and swung his sword towards the incoming bear, which was rolling rapidly. The impact was incredibly strong. He then yelled at the bear to get off him. He thought that the bear's spinning technique not only amplified its impact but also enhanced its defense, making him too passive if this continued. He resolved not to let it curl into a ball again. Just as the bear turned, a good opportunity arose for Lu Chen to strike. He deftly avoided the bear's next attack, announcing that its turn was over and it was now his. He landed a critical hit on its neck. The bear roared in rage and countered Lu Chen's attack with surprising speed. Lu Chen noted the bear's continued attempt to curl into a ball. He scoffed, calling it wishful thinking, and declared that he had already figured out how to stop it. He explained that he just needed to hit the center of its spine precisely, and then it wouldn't be able to curl up again. He then landed another critical blow on the bear. Despite the severe injury, the bear still managed to stand. Lu Chen expressed his surprise at its stubbornness, acknowledging that even with a severely injured spine, it could still get up and want to fight back. He then cursed the stupid bear and delivered a final critical hit to its eye, killing it. A substantial amount of loot appeared. Lu Chen had leveled up and acquired a magic stone, leg guards, and a mask. He remarked on the generosity of the Iron Bear's rewards. He decided to put on the leg guards first, noting that leather armor, while lacking the defensive plate armor, offered a good boost in agility. He examined the bearskin leg guards, which provided physical defense +7, magic resistance +6, and agility +2, requiring level 15. Conveniently, Lu Chen was also at level 15. He then examined the mask, stating that it was super useful as it could disguise him. He believed that with it, he could leave the Frost Ridge shack unnoticed. He recalled the description of the disguise mask, mentioning how the patrol scout of the shack used it to conceal his skeletal face with a cloak, allowing him to perfectly blend into human camps. Lu Chen returned to Captain Fak and announced his intention to turn in the quest. Captain Fak, seeing both quest items, expressed his delight, saying it was perfect that Lu Chen had them both as he could turn in both quests at once, saving him the trouble of running back and forth. Captain Fak then shared that he had known swordsmen for over 500 years and that they often played chess together. Lu Chen presented the shack skull to Captain Fak, who confirmed it was indeed the exact item. Lu Chen then presented the green bones skeletal fingers. Swordsman congratulated him, telling him he had done well and to take his reward. Lu Chen leveled up to 16. He remarked that he now needed boots and arm guards to complete his gear. However, a new problem arose. He approached the swordsmaster and explained that the quest reward, the first strategist weapon, was something he couldn't use. The swordsmaster stated that quest rewards were non-refundable but suggested trying his luck at the human trading market at Icebridge, cautioning that they didn't welcome night spirits. Lu Chen mused that the lack of welcome for night spirits wouldn't be a problem, as he could simply use his disguise mask. He mentally affirmed that the disguise mask worked perfectly, noting that no one had noticed him from start to finish. He then put on a pair of porcupine boots, feeling that he had hit the jackpot with this item. Suddenly, an assassin attacked him. Lu Chen reacted swiftly, asking who was there. The assassin, recognizing Lu Chen's quick reflexes, commented that his reaction was just as quick as Little White. Lu Chen parried his sneak attack. Wu Chen then asked him to wait a minute and stated that he didn't know who the assassin was talking about, suggesting he must be mistaken. He pondered how Kong Long Ao Jiu from Kong Long Guild had exposed him. The assassin then revealed the reason. Even though Lu Chen was wearing a mask and hiding his ID, his green blade was too recognizable, as he was the only one in the entire city who possessed it. Lu Chen mentally cursed, realizing he had forgotten about the green blade. The assassin, declaring the 50,000 bounty criminal Undying as the masked guy, swore on the honor of the Kong Long Guild. Lu Chen then retorted that the assassin was pulling this trick. The assassin, undeterred, stated that if the trick worked, no one cared how he played. Everyone around began to converge on Lu Chen, drawn by the prospect of the 50,000 coins and the Blackstone gear. The assassin, facing Lu Chen, commanded him to prepare to face death. Lu Chen confidently challenged the assassin, questioning whether he and the other merchant players truly believed they could defeat him. The assassin, recognizing Lu Chen's impending move, saw him pull out a special item. Lu Chen then made a swift retreat, simply stating, "Goodbye." The assassin cursed, realizing Lu Chen had tricked him. He surmised that Lu Chen was likely heading to the Frost Ridge and resolved to intercept him. He contacted someone on his communication device, instructing them to gather the first and second battle squads to ambush Lu Qin in the outer canyon. However, the person on the other end reported that all their battle squads were currently mobilized because Wind Fantasy had just blown up their headquarters, and the guild leader was leading all the battle squads to hunt her down. The assassin expressed his frustration, realizing they were now dealing with both Undying, Lu Qin, and Wind Fantasy. He instructed his comrades to handle Wind Fantasy while he would personally deal with Undying. Meanwhile, in the Frost Path Pine Forest, Lu Qin thought that once he traversed the forest, he would reach the safe zone of Frost Ridge. Just as he was about to cross it, the assassin attacked him again. Lu Qin expressed his annoyance, comparing the assassin to some kind of sticky plaster for relentlessly chasing him. The assassin declared that Lu Qin's continued survival was damaging the Konglong Guild's reputation, and therefore he must die. Lu Qin challenged him, asking if he was alone. The assassin again anticipated Lu Qin's use of a skill. This time, it was a slash that the assassin deftly dodged, admitting it was a close call. Lu Qin then pondered why the assassin was still there, questioning who was behind him. It turned out to be Odian Orin from the third pen. The assassin, recognizing Orion's green long sword, simply stated, "It's you, Undying. Long time no see." The fight then began. Lu Qin mentally cursed the appearance of another annoying guy. Orion proclaimed he had missed Undying so much. Lu Qin retorted, telling him to stay away, as he had no desire to see him. But Orion attacked him, thinking that this was a perfect opportunity to hold a grudge. He proposed to Orion that they team up to take down Undying. Orion, however, curtly told him to get lost. The assassin, confused, wondered why Orion, an enemy, would refuse. Orion explained that a duel between the strong doesn't require the cooperation of the weak. With that, the assassin was killed by Orion. As he vanished, he cursed, declaring that the Konglong Guild wouldn't let Orion off. Orion scoffed at the Konglong Guild's threat, dismissing it as a joke. He then turned to Lu Qin, announcing that the annoying bug was gone and they could continue their fight. Lu Qin, annoyed, questioned who wanted to fight him, calling Orion annoying. Orion, surprised, acknowledged that Lu Qin had already reached level 15 and even understood human language, concluding that Lu Qin must be even stronger now. Lu Qin noted that Orion's speed had increased, and he needed to end this quickly. He closed in on Orion, who was taken aback by Lu Qin's swiftness. Lu Qin dealt a high amount of damage, followed by another critical hit. Orion didn't even have time to react before he received a kick that sent him flying into a tree. Orion internally questioned why, despite putting all 3 of his points into agility, it was still not enough. Just then, Lu Qin closed in on him again. Orion, in panic, shouted to Lu. But before he could finish, Lu Qin killed him. Lu Qin effortlessly retreated, but to his surprise, Orion was immediately resurrected. Lu Qin realized Orion had revived incredibly fast and pondered whether he should continue fighting. Orion, impressed, remarked that Lu Qin had killed him instantly for the second time, acknowledging Lu Qin's strength. He then asked Lu Qin if he was secretly a Hall of Fame player using a Smurf account. Lu Qin, realizing his identity had been exposed, retorted that he didn't need to be a Hall of Fame player to defeat Orion. Orion, however, insisted, claiming that only Zhu Yingwan from the Hall of Fame possessed the ability to create visual illusions, dodge an attack in an instant, and immediately return to the original position. Lu Qin maintained that he was not Zhu Yingwan and wasn't even considered a Hall of Fame member at that moment. Orion found this impossible to believe, stating there was no way he would lose to a nameless, lower-level player with weaker gear unless that player was indeed from the Hall of Fame. Lu Qin mused on the idea of impossible, recalling a past scene from the backstage of the War Unrivaled tournament. Others were discussing who would win the finals, mentioning Zhu Yingwan, a Hall of Fame member at max level with a full set of divine gear and the only super divine weapon, Crimson Flame Demon. They contrasted him with El Qin, a rookie from another game who wasn't even at max level and only possessed one divine sword, suggesting he had just been lucky to make it to the finals and had no chance against Zhu Yingwan. In that past moment, Lu Qin himself had silently repeated, impossible. But then, a voice announced, let's congratulate Lu Qin for defeating the martial god Zhu Yingwan. Lu Qin in the present, then declared that nothing is impossible. Orion, confused, asked what he meant. Lu Qin questioned whether everything was truly defined by gear and level. Orion remained perplexed. Lu Qin continued, suggesting that the game wasn't just about leveling up and grinding monsters to become unbeatable, as his true opponents were other players. He asserted that if one lacked the determination to keep fighting, they might as well quit. Orion, indignant, demanded what made Lu Chen think he lacked the will to keep fighting. Lu Chen retorted by asking if someone who lost to a lower-tier opponent and then used the excuse of their opponent being a Hall of Fame member to justify it, and in the end, even got angry out of embarrassment, truly possessed such determination. Lu Chen then continued walking, leaving Orion fuming in embarrassment. Orion called out to him, saying he wouldn't go, claiming he had lost because he was in a bad condition. Lu Chen internally noted Orion's stubbornness. Orion further continued, stating that he wouldn't give up and would definitely defeat Undying, even if he was Zhu Wan. Lu Chen replied that he looked forward to that day but advised Orion to watch the replay, adding that his condition was indeed terrible and his performance was awful. This last line struck Orion deeply. Later, at his house, Orion, holding a trashy second-hand helmet with slow transmission speed, muttered about thoroughly loading in. He decided to watch the battle replay to determine if he was truly that bad or if it was just a matter of bad condition. As he watched, he exclaimed, "Am I an idiot?" He realized he had finished off a wild monster with only 1/3 of his health left and then charged in during the Ghost Aura's most weak state. He understood that putting all his points into agility had given him low bonuses, and he couldn't even catch up. It was a complete waste. As a knight, he realized he should focus on health and defense stats. The more he analyzed, the more he realized that Undying was not even human. On a whiteboard, he meticulously wrote something, stating, "No details missed." He noted that in an all-out attack, he could deal maximum damage, but his openings were also the biggest. He theorized that if a monster caught him, he wouldn't die, but against a pro like Undying, he would be wiped out in one combo. He concluded that to defeat him, he could only rely on a defensive, counterattacking, turtle strategy and wait for Lu Chen to reveal his weakness, believing this plan would definitely work. The scene then shifted to the Frost Ridge residential area, a resting place for the Night Spirit race, where resting in a coffin effectively reduced fatigue for Night Spirit warriors. Lu Chen, feeling exhausted after another all-nighter, entered a coffin, preparing to drift off to sleep. Just then, Orion attacked him from behind, declaring that Lu Chen wouldn't get away. Lu Chen, surprised, questioned his sanity, reminding him that attacking someone in their coffin would bring divine retribution. Orion stated that he had studied the video and found a way to beat Lu Chen, confident that he wouldn't lose this time. Lu Chen, contemplating Orion's claim, thought, "You think just watching the video will let you see through me?" He then challenged him to give it a try. They both charged at each other. Lu Chen successfully killed him, noting that Orion had actually found the right defensive counterattack strategy but still fell short in the end. Just then, Orion respawned, stating that he had lost again at 18 minutes. He continued to lose several more times. Lu Chen eventually grew exasperated, asking if he was freaking done yet. Orion, oblivious, simply told him to snap out of it. Lu Chen retorted that he wasn't Orion's free sparring partner and asked what price Orion was willing to pay if he wanted to continue fighting. Lu Chen, in a thorny graveyard, conversed with his companion, Sishun, who was only at level 10. He expressed his surprise at Sishuan's slow progress, noting that he was about to hit level 20. Sishun retorted that not everyone was a monster like Lu Chen. Lu Chen offered to transfer some money to Sishun so he could acquire gear and red potions to level up faster. Sishun gratefully acknowledged Lu Chen's generosity, promising to continue gathering intelligence in Frost Ice City for him. Lu Chen praised him. While talking, Lu Chen was fighting a skeleton. As he dealt a blow, he also received a backlash due to the skeleton's 5% damage reflection from its Desperate Struggle ability. He finally reached level 20. He reflected on the intense competition in Frost City, noting that despite being level 20, he wasn't even in the top 10. He observed that Wind Fantasy and Bossy Dominator held significant power, with 4 in the top 10 and 9 in the top 20, indicating that Dominator was one of the biggest guilds. He realized that for the future of Ancient God Dream Souls, he needed Sishun to investigate this further. Suddenly, Lu Chen felt a strange sensation. The system indicated his power and hunger levels had dropped to 20%, and his body felt weakened. He exclaimed that he had completely forgotten about this. He realized he hadn't eaten anything since coming online. He cursed, fearing he would be the first player to starve to death. Desperate, he declared he no longer cared and began to eat grass from the ground, finding it disgusting. Just then, a young girl appeared, asking what her big brother was doing. Lu Chen thought it sounded like a girl and quickly put on his mask. It was Xingran, a human NPC. She asked if he was hungry, offering him some oatmeal bread her mom had made, assuring him it was delicious. Lu Chen thanked her, turned around, and ate the bread. His hunger level immediately normalized. He was amazed that one piece of bread had resolved everything. With newfound strength, he easily broke a whole tree with a single punch. The girl praised his amazing feat. He credited Xingren's bread for his renewed energy and offered her a coin for it. The girl, however, said that one bread didn't cost that much. Lu Chen, noticing her refusal of money, suspected a hidden quest. He asked if there was anything he could help her with. The girl declined, but then explained that her mom was sick and the doctor said only white mushrooms from the nearby dangerous area could cure her. Lu Chen inwardly noted that this area was near Frost Ridge, where terrifying night spirits roamed, and he wondered if she was handling it on her own. He then offered to help solve it alone. The girl confessed that night spirits were scary, but for her mom, she wasn't afraid. She added that she was strong and only needed to collect white mushrooms for a month, and her mom would recover. Lu Chen thought, 1 month? A long-term mission with great rewards. A quest had fallen right into his lap. He decided to test it out. He praised her bravery and proposed a deal. For the next month, she would bring him a piece of bread every day, and he would provide the silver coin for the flour. She agreed, saying, "Okay, big brother, see you tomorrow." Lu Chen thought, 1 month waiting. This NPC is interesting. Meanwhile, Orion received a new quest list. His tasks included killing a wild boar king, buying a spear, refilling red potions, a midnight duel with Undying, and grinding for experience and leveling up. He decided to stock up first, then go for the boss. Suddenly, he was attacked. Orion shouted, "Who?" It was the assassin from before. The assassin declared that the Konglong Guild wouldn't let him go. Orion, enraged, told him he was asking for death and attacked the assassin's team. However, their tank blocked his attack and archers shot arrows at him, dealing severe damage. The assassin then appeared behind him. On another front, Lu Chen was diligently completing quests. His sword's master complimented his gear, noting that his completely fine gear and complete gear clearing mission were finished. He then urged Lu Chen to come along, as he would lead him to defeat Queen Yu. Just then, the sword's master raised his hand and shouted, "Warriors, charge with me." Lu Chen was astounded, realizing that the sword's master could use brand summoning magic, finding it insane. The sword's master asked when he learned he could teach Lu Chen. On the Iron Bridge graveyard, Lu Chen was fighting bone skeletons of level 23. He shouted for the cowardly Queen Yu to come out. Just then, Queen Yu appeared and commanded, "Slaughter them all." Lu Chen responded, "Bring it down."